Swallowed Star 529 Killing or a Whirlpool. Chapter 529 Killing or a Whirlpool. Even though his Earth body failed to absorb the third crystal, he wasn't affected by it at all. Instead, he continued his training. Under the killing aura environment of the ancient god ruins, even though it was for the sake of absorbing the crystals, Luo Feng's main attention was still spent on studying the 9-universe tablet drizzle picture. He had completely comprehended the first 9 wonders. As for the middle 27, every one of them was much more profound. It had been over 32 years since he arrived in Blood River Continent. Even though his improvement was huge, his true comprehension of the wonders was still very little. The Blood River crystals are but supplementary assistants. As for my mental state, I can't see or even touch it. The origin laws are the most important. These 30 years, the Golden Horned Beast had combined the 3 ancient pictures and studied tearing sky and land. Its improvement in the gold origin laws far exceeded the Masha clan's improvement. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged in his stone bed. I'll focus my attention of studying the drizzle picture too. Time and space, these were the hardest to comprehend. His Earth body's weapon, the Nan Shan armament, was a combination of gold and space. His improvement in gold was very fast, so much so that space couldn't keep up, resulting in him using both the Masha body and himself to study space together. The universe was vast and endless, and in it, tens of years was simply nothing. For some ancient beings, just a blink of their eyes, and it would have been trillions of years. In the blink of an eye, Luo Feng had been in the Blood River Continent for over 80 years. Virtual Universe, Thunder Island. A graceful lady in jade green armor stood at the edges of the island along a 10-li reef. Ahead of it were large amounts of revolving lightning snakes. Suddenly a silhouette shot over from the distance, landing on the huge reef. It was the golden-armored ape-man True Yen Emperor. "Jade, you are looking for me?" True Yen smiled. The jade-green armored lady turned to look. She was Jade Emperor. Jade nodded. "What's the matter?" True Yen smiled and asked. "It's regarding your disciple Luo Feng." Jade said, her voice clean and clear. "Ah." True Yen was shocked. "Why are you concerned with my disciple?" "My disciple is only at universe level. He hasn't truly headed out to explore. His condition now, you should know it the best." Jade shook her head. "It seems clear, yet at the same time, it's not clear at all." "Speak directly," True Yen said. "To be honest," Jade smiled, "this Luo Feng's improvement has been noticed by all of the management level within the Virtual Universe Company. Especially right after he exited Primal Chaos City, he actually consecutively passed 9 levels of the Fantasy Ocean, only failing at the 10th. His willpower and consciousness is at a terrifying level." "Haha," True Yen smiled proudly. "This disciple of mine, even though he's only at universe level, his soul is far from evolving into an undying. However, just in terms of willpower, I am afraid he exceeds that of an undying. Many don't even compare to him. I know this, of course, otherwise it wouldn't have aroused the upper echelons." Jade Emperor emphasized. "And also within the last 80 years, he actually passed the Heavenly Bridge's 6th level. He's caught up with Bolan's comprehension speed. Bolan, that punk, he's making his own life difficult." True Yen said. "Doesn't matter, Luo Feng's improvement speed is shocking." Jade's expression was serious. "And his genius competition was organized by 9-Blade Knight. Hence, once he becomes undying, he would naturally be under him. The Knight favors him a lot, however. He actually took on the Blood River World mission and hasn't returned in 80 years, remaining there." True Yen nodded. 80 years. During these 80 years, he hasn't attempted the Heavenly Bridge. Fantasy Ocean. Jade frowned hard. "He had only occasionally contacted you and listened to some undying classes. These 80 years, the other geniuses have all improved quite a lot. All have taken on many missions, many finishing all 10. Only this Luo Feng still remains on Blood River World. And according to the report, his automaton ship has been in space for a long time. The location is the ancient god ruins of Blood River World."
"The dangers of the ancient god ruins, you should be clear." Jade frowned. "That place is the most dangerous place on the entire Blood River continent. How many of our undyings fell there before?" Especially the killing aura of that place is unique only to that place within the entire universe. If Luo Feng isn't careful, and he enters a region with extremely high amounts of aura, he would be taken over and lost to the madness that's akin to death. The Knight's viewing of him is even higher than that of Bolin. And these 80 years he's been in contact with you. Hence I hope you can tell me his situation on Blood River Continent, every bit of it. Jade emphasized. True Yen, honestly speaking, taking risks are important. However, one cannot madly take risks. You cannot take your disciple's life as a joke. He is after all just a universe-level punk. He hasn't been doing much these 80 years, just studying the origin laws. True Yen smiled. How's his studying? Jade asked. As Luo Feng hadn't attempted the Heavenly Bridge, no one knew about his speed and level of study. Average. True Yen said casually. Of the first 36 wonders he's comprehended 35 of them. Even though he said it very casually, his expression was that of pride. Comprehended 35. Jade was shocked. The September 1st, middle 27, and final 72. Luo Feng comprehended 35 wonders. How can it be so quick? Jade stared at True Yen. That's impossible. During the 30 years in Primal Chaos City, he only comprehended the most basic 9. And his study speed outside Primal Chaos City should be 10 times slower. But from the looks of it, he comprehended 1 every 3 years outside, which are even more profound than the first 9. 1. He has me for pointers. 2. He has time-space scribbles to aid in his study. 3. He's absorbed Blood River crystals. Hence, his study speed has increased. True Yen looked at Jade. Also, he is indeed a genius. His comprehension speed rises with his strength. Blood River Continent, Ancient God Ruins, Huge Pit. Huge Pit Quarters. Luo Feng opened his eyes. He sat cross-legged in his bronze armor. 80 years, it had been 80 years since he came to Blood River Continent. The effects of the killing aura shaping his body was getting lesser and lesser, however at least it was still improving. However, he was still a little shy of absorbing the third crystal. These 80 years, my comprehension of the space laws has improved a lot. Luo Feng exclaimed. Comprehending 35 wonders. He would never have expected to have done something so absurd. Primal Chaos City's 30 years was 100 years in the actual universe. In those 30 years in Primal Chaos City he only comprehended 9 wonders. However, 80 years or so in the actual universe, he actually comprehended the more profound 26 wonders. This level and speed of improvement was indeed unbelievable. This was only possible because of the time-space scribbles and True Yan's pointers, with the golden horn beast's triggering of the mysterious energy, increasing his fusion with the space laws by 9 times. Yes. Towards the end, even the golden horn beast began to study the space laws. This was because, in training Tearing Sky and Land and the 3 ancient pictures, during the 39th year, the golden horn beast had comprehended that the ancient beast's claw attack wasn't simply infused with gold laws, simultaneously it had space laws within. To truly figure out the powerful attack of Tearing Sky's first claw, the golden horn beast's main study was the ancient pictures. Tearing Sky and Land became secondary, as every one of the 3 ancient pictures were incredibly profound. And one of the claws was infused with space laws, hence the golden horn beast began to study the space laws too. With the 3 bodies studying simultaneously, reflecting each other's comprehension, especially on the ancient pictures, the rewards were bountiful. It allowed Luo Feng's comprehension to progress extremely fast. Also, he realized too, the training of his mental state and soul had cleared his mind, allowing him to understand and grasp onto whatever he was studying much faster. From a certain degree, his comprehension level had risen too. I think after a few more years I'll have comprehended the 36th wonder. Luo Feng's face was filled with anticipation. Tearing Sky's first claw. Accurately speaking, my fast improvement speed is mostly because of the ancient pictures. Luo Feng was curious within. That simple wave of the claw was already so profound and unbelievable. Using his human body to study that claw was useless. However, its effects on the golden horn beasts Tearing Sky and Land, while studying that claw, especially looking at the ancient pictures, It almost felt as though that claw encompassed everything. It was so deep and profound that his own comprehension was still superficial. Just how strong was that beast? Luo Feng thought within, after which he didn't think anymore and headed out of the cave entrance. Following the pathway, he quickly reached side of the mountain and looked at the endless red aura revolving. Half a year ago I tried heading to the killing aura whirlpool and was able to reach the point of 9.5 times. It was less than 100 m from the center of the whirlpool. I had to stop there. Luo Feng was filled with anticipation. I feel that I've had improvement over this half a year, who knows whether I'll be able to enter the whirlpool core. So, he rushed straight down and headed towards the depths of the aura. Whirlpool aura. These years, besides studying, Luo Feng often went to try the depths of the whirlpool. However, every time he did go, he didn't dare risk it. Because he was very clear that the price of the risk was losing himself to madness. This was akin to death. After a while, Luo Feng had already reached within that huge whirlpool. Rumble. The huge whirlpool that was almost like fresh blood was revolving continuously, dragging the auras beside along with it. The core itself looked like a red sun. The bronze-armored Luo Feng drew closer to the center step by step, going closer and closer to the eye of the storm. I'm really curious just what is in the core of this whirlpool. Luo Feng withstood the killing aura willpower that was constantly growing strong and invading his mind, getting closer and closer to the glaring red sun.